Okay, so this is part 3, so please go back and check the other 2 parts if you don't know what I'm saying. But let's move on here. So, interesting in this game here, it says Alex Smith had 191 passing yards, but the team had 167 yards. They had 24 points. 167 the big way adds up to, or 24 the big way adds up to 167, and also the little way, 50. Also interesting, they had 2 plays for 7 yards with 27 seconds left. The Chiefs did. 27 adds up to 46. Remember, the Chiefs, if they win, it will be the first time in 46 years that they won the Super Bowl. Actually, 46 years and 27 days will be if they win it. So, because it was January 11th of 1970, the last time they won the Super Bowl, which is 27 days before 2-7. Also, I just want to point out here, so Alex Smith had 25 pass attempts, 25 adds up to 50 when you write it out. But Peyton Manning had 45, which is interesting as well. So, like I'm saying, I'm just pointing out the coding. I don't know exactly what's going on or how it's going to go down, but it just seems interesting. So, the date of the Super Bowl, if you add it up, 2 plus 7 plus 16 adds up to 15, or 25. And if you add up 2 plus 7 plus 20 plus 16, it adds up to 45. Interesting, 45 also ties into Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, the second day of Lupercalia. So lots of interesting stuff with that. Also, let's go back to the Chiefs here. Look, so their first game of the season, they even scored 27 points to beat the Texans. Who knows if that was a sign that they were going to be playing on 2-7. Also, this game on January 9th. Interesting, January 9th adds up to 56. Interesting day. It makes me wonder with the 56 is connected to the Chiefs, though, because 56 has not been associated with anything positive. So, who knows? Maybe I've just seen all of the negative aspects of it. Maybe the Chiefs are actually going to win because of it. But just wanted to point that out. January 9th adds up to 56. The Chiefs are even 11-5 right now. If you do that as a date, November 5th, there's 56 days left until the end of the year. A few other interesting things in Gematria I wanted to show that might mean the Chiefs aren't going to win. If you do AFC wildcard game, it adds up to 65, just like Philadelphia the small way. Also 110, a number that's usually associated with 56, I've noticed. Like Adolf Hitler is 110 and 56. Osama bin Laden is the same way. World Trade Centers were 110 stories tall. But if you put in Texans win AFC wildcard game, it adds up to 239. Just interesting because it's the 239th year of the United States. So I guess we'll see what happens or whatever. Also, I just put in Chiefs lose. That adds up to 101, just like Philadelphia the big way. But also want to point out, the Texans could technically sort of be coded to the Chiefs because the Chiefs were originally the Dallas Texans. And also, either way, it's totally coded to Philadelphia. I don't know what the plan is for Philadelphia. There's been lots and lots of coding to Philadelphia. But anyway, I'm going to move on. But just look. So I was just kind of scrolling down here looking at the videos here. This one's 37 seconds long. This one is Alex Smith. Alex Smith must be the best QB on field for Chiefs to win. 1:10 long for this. Interesting. 1:10. This one has the picture of Andrew Luck and then the number 56. You keep going here. Oh, then they show defense wins championships, number 56. Interesting, it's 57 seconds long. And I'll talk about that in a little bit here. Also, this one, number 50 and number 90, just sticks out to you. Number 50 is the one that sticks out the most. Also, can Texans D contain Alex Smith? A minute 51. I'm going to talk about that again in a second as well. It's insane. Okay, but anyway, the Chiefs played the Broncos again in week 10. Interesting, the Chiefs won this time, scoring 29 points. Remember, 29 adds up to 50. There are a lot of interesting things in this game as well. So, the Chiefs won, and that made their record 4-5. Remember, the date numerology of the Super Bowl is 45 and 25. But it also made the Broncos 7-2. And the Super Bowl's on February 7th, which can be written as 2-7 or 7-2. So, pretty weird. It's almost like there's some this is going to be the real Super Bowl almost, you know? The Broncos only scored 13 points. 13 in Gematria also adds up to 45. Also, this made Denver's home record 3-1. They scored 13 points. This was also the game that Peyton Manning got taken out of the game because he was hurt or whatever, and he didn't come back until 3 days ago on 1-3 or 3-1, depending on how you look at it. So they scored 13 points, literally had a home record of 3-1, and then Peyton Manning finally came back and played in a game on January 3rd, 1-3. Alex Smith even threw 17 of 31 passing. And right now, going into the playoffs, remember his record with the Chiefs is 31 wins and 17 losses. Also, Week 10 in Gematria. Week 10 adds up to 29 and 83. I mean, the Chiefs won with 29 points. 29 adds up to 50. Remember, football adds up to 29 and 83. Jamal Charles tore his ACL, torn ACL, 83-29. So, once again, interesting. Alex Smith, that says the sacks are 2 of 7, kind of like the Super Bowl day. Peyton Manning says 2 of 9. 2 of 9 adds up to 50, but Peyton Manning was 5 of 20 on his passes. Sticks out to me because, like I said, Alex Smith was traded for the 34th pick in the draft when he was traded to the Chiefs. And it was for this guy right here, Justin Hunter. And he's actually 24 years old. Remember, 24 adds up to 50. But also, May 20th, kind of like 5-20, kind of like Peyton Manning's stats in this game. Interesting, Brock Osweiler came in. He threw 24 passes that game as well. So interesting, 24. His name in Gematria even adds up to 65, like Philadelphia the small way. Also, it says that he was the 57th pick in the draft. And I know in Zach's video, he talked a lot about the number 57 and how it tied into the Denver Broncos and whatnot. And Brock Osweiler and whatever. Because if you write out the word 57, it adds up to 131, just like Super Bowl. But Alex Smith was born on May 7th, like 57. Also, their coach, Andy Reid, is age 57. Also interesting, Andy Reid has been the coach ever since Alex Smith has been in Kansas City. They came at the same time or whatever. But look at their records here. 11-5, 9-7, 11-5. So just kind of interesting. It's 11-9-11, kind of like 9-11 both ways. And then 5-7-5 for their losses. 57, 75, whatever, the mirrors. He's also the former Philadelphia coach, the one that they hired Chip Kelly in replace of. I mean, Philadelphia Eagles were established 83 years ago, just like football and Week 10 and all the other 83s that I've talked about here. Texans, torn ACL, New Orleans, Louisiana. But the Eagles play in Lincoln Financial Field. Interesting, Lincoln, the ties into Abraham Lincoln. I've been talking about the Civil War type theme we've been doing over and over this year. But look, when this stadium, it broke ground on 5/7, like 57, and it opened on 8/3, kind of like 83. Even says it cost $512 million for the construction. A lot of this is tied back to the Philadelphia train wreck that happened on May 12th, kind of like 512. And not to get too far off topic, but Bill Murray adds up to 131, just like 57 and Superbowl. And the Chiefs play the Texans on 1/9. And I said that 67 was the 19th prime number. And Bill Murray tweeted this last year on 1/9. You could give me 67 years to do something, and I wouldn't do it until the night before. So it just really makes me wonder. He's not even 67 years old. There's the whole Ghostbusters 2, where the girl says the alien told her that the end of the world will be Valentine's Day 2016. And I hope I'm not losing you here. It's just hard to explain, because I don't know why he would tweet something like this, not being 67 years old. Also, just interesting, it's exactly 1 year before the beginning of the Chiefs playoff game. But also, in this game, it was on 11/15 of 2015. If you go to the day of the Super Bowl, it's a span of 2 months, 23 days. And that's just interesting. There's a lot of these words. It all ties into the Skull and Bones Society. Skull and Crossbones as of 223. Friday the 13th, when the Paris attacks happened, 223. The Synagogue of Satan, 223. Interesting too, Curse of the Billy Goat adds up to 223, and I know that's ties into baseball and the Chicago Cubs and whatnot, but the curse was placed in 1945 by this guy, Billy Cianis, who also adds up to 131. Also next year, May 7th, will be the 128th day of the year because it's a leap year. And I've talked a lot about the date of 8/12, August 12th, being connected to the number 56, and also to World War II, or just World War in general. The Second World War began exactly 71 days before the 21st anniversary of World War I, and also August 12th will be exactly 21 days before the 71st anniversary of the end of World War II. It's just interesting, World War III adds up to 71, just like Super Bowl 50. And just interesting, another 67 reference here. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, he's even 56 years old this year, but he assumed office on September 1st, 2006, which is exactly 67 years after the start of World War II. And remember from the previous parts of this, the first Super Bowl was the Packers-Chiefs, and it happened in 1967.